When healthy turns harmful, the truth about vegetables and the aging heart. After 60, our bodies become less forgiving, especially the heart. Every morning salad, every clean eating routine, every bite of what we once believed was healthy may now come with hidden risks. It's shocking, isn't it? Because we've been told for decades, eat your vegetables, they're good for you. But what if I told you that some of the vegetables in your fridge, yes, the ones you've always trusted, could quietly be damaging your heart? Not because they're inherently bad, but because your body's chemistry has changed, your medications are different, and the way your organs respond isn't what it used to be. This isn't fear-mongering, it's physiology. As a senior health advocate, I've seen this far too often. Patients come in confused. Doc, I've been eating clean. Why is my blood pressure still high? Why do I feel dizzy after lunch? Why am I suddenly bruising so easily? And more often than not, the answer lies not in their medications, but in what they're pairing them with on the plate. From nutrient-drug interactions to hidden sodium loads to bacteria risks your immune system used to fight off with ease, certain vegetables that seem harmless may now be pushing your heart closer to trouble. The worst part? Most seniors have no idea. They feel like they're doing everything right, only to end up in the ER from a clot, a bleed, or a blood pressure crash. In this series, I'm going to walk you through 7 vegetables that could be quietly harming your heart after age 60. Some of them might surprise you. Others you might be eating daily. But the good news? You don't have to eliminate flavor or give up variety. You just need to know what to avoid and how to make simple, smart swaps that support your heart instead of sabotaging it. And if you're ready to reclaim your energy, protect your heart, and make food work for you, not against you, you're in the right place. Let's start with hash 7, a leafy green praised as a superfood. But for seniors on heart medication, it may be silently undoing the very protection keeping you alive. Hash 7, spinach, the vitamin K trap that's quietly counteracting your medication spinach, the ultimate symbol of clean eating, packed with iron, fiber, and antioxidants. And for many people, yes, it's a health hero. But for seniors over 60, especially those on blood thinners like warfarin, spinach may be silently turning into a health hazard. Here's why. Spinach is loaded with vitamin K, a nutrient that plays a vital role in helping your blood clot. That's a good thing, unless you're taking medications that are specifically designed to prevent blood from clotting too much. Blood thinners like warfarin or even daily aspirin lose their effectiveness when too much vitamin K is present in your bloodstream. You might be thinking, but it's just a salad. I once had a patient, let's call her Marjorie, age 74, who began adding green smoothies to her morning routine. She was proud of it. I've been clean eating, she told me, but a few weeks later she suffered a mini stroke. Her medication hadn't stopped working. Her spinach habit had neutralized it. The danger here isn't spinach itself, it's inconsistency. When you suddenly increase or decrease your intake of vitamin K-rich foods without adjusting your medication, your body struggles to keep balance. Your blood might clot too easily, or not at all. So what's the solution? Moderation and consistency. If you love spinach, eat it in small, steady amounts. But more importantly, tell your doctor. Your medication may need adjustment. Never make drastic changes without checking first. Food should heal, not harm. But after 60, even healthy choices can become risky without the full picture. Now, if spinach can quietly overpower your prescription, what other vegetables might be stirring up silent trouble in your bloodstream? Let's move on to hash 6, a seemingly innocent snack hiding more sodium than a bag of chips. Hash 6, pickled cucumbers, the salty snack that's squeezing your heart. They're crunchy, tangy, and for many, they're a nostalgic comfort. But if you're over 60 and reaching for pickled cucumbers, better known as pickles, you may be unknowingly inviting a dangerous guest to your heart's table. What's the issue? Sodium. Most pickles are soaked in brine, a salty solution that can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving. For older adults, that's nearly 2/3 of your entire daily limit in just a few bites. And the effects? They're more than just water retention. Sodium increases blood volume, strains your arteries, and raises your blood pressure quietly but relentlessly. Take Robert, a 68-year-old who came into my clinic confused. He'd cut out fried food, was walking daily, even limited sweets, but his blood pressure wouldn't budge. The culprit? A nightly healthy snack, a small plate of pickles and crackers. That handful was setting his heart back hours every evening. Seniors often don't realize their kidneys become less efficient at filtering sodium as they age. That means salt sticks around longer, does more damage, and can silently trigger or worsen hypertension and heart failure. And it's not just pickles. Many canned vegetables, preserved relishes, and even heart-healthy soups hide sodium levels that are far too high for aging bodies. The worst part? There are usually no symptoms until it's too late. A spike in pressure, a heart rhythm issue, or a stroke. But the solution is doable. Opt for low-sodium pickles, rinse canned vegetables before cooking, and season with herbs, lemon, garlic, or vinegar instead of reaching for the salt shaker. And when in doubt, cook fresh. Because your heart deserves flavor, not a fight. Up next, let's talk about something even more surprising. It's colorful, it's fiery, and for many it's the taste of life itself. But it may be the very thing that's fueling your heart's downfall. Hash 5, red chili peppers, the fiery flavor that's fueling cardiac stress. For many, red chili peppers aren't just a spice. They're a cultural staple, a reminder of family meals and fiery flavor that makes food come alive. But if you're over 60, that little kick of heat might be doing more harm than you think. Red chili peppers stimulate your nervous system. They raise adrenaline, spike your heart rate, and constrict your blood vessels. If you're younger and your arteries are flexible, this is manageable. But after 60, your heart becomes more sensitive. Your vessels, stiffer. That same heat now becomes a silent stressor to your cardiovascular system. I recall Maria, a 70-year-old patient who'd eaten spicy food her whole life. But recently, after meals, she began experiencing tightness in her chest and occasional dizziness. Her blood pressure spiked inconsistently. We traced it back to her beloved chili-laden stew. One serving was enough to create vascular stress that lingered for hours. What's happening inside the body? The capsaicin in chili peppers, the compound responsible for heat, can cause a burst of inflammation in your circulatory system. Over time, frequent inflammation wears down artery walls, increases oxidative stress, and raises the risk of arrhythmias or even cardiac events. Now, this doesn't mean you need to eat bland food for the rest of your life. Flavor doesn't have to mean fire. You can still enjoy warmth and zest with gentler spices, turmeric, paprika, ginger, or herbs like basil and thyme, without setting your cardiovascular system on high alert. Food should bring comfort, not conflict. And after 60, the line between tradition and protection becomes thinner. So if your heart is already under pressure, don't let spice tip the scale. Now, if peppers can light a slow-burning fuse in your chest, what about something nature made as medicine, but when taken raw, could silently undo your best intentions? Let's move on to hash 4. Hash 4, raw garlic. When nature's medicine becomes too much garlic. A symbol of ancient healing, a staple in kitchens and cultures around the world. For seniors, it's often seen as a daily ally, lowering blood pressure, thinning blood, and boosting heart health. But when eaten raw, garlic's strength can quietly turn against the very heart it's meant to protect. Here's the truth. Raw garlic is a natural blood thinner, and when combined with heart medications, particularly anticoagulants like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel, it can dangerously amplify their effects. That might sound beneficial until your blood becomes too thin, tipping you toward internal bleeding, sudden bruising, or worse, hemorrhagic stroke. I remember a patient, Leonard, 75, who began chewing raw garlic cloves every morning after reading about its super heart benefits. Within a month, he experienced severe fatigue, dizziness, and black stools. A hospital visit revealed gastrointestinal bleeding. His medication hadn't changed, his garlic habit had. But it's not just bleeding that's the problem. Raw garlic, especially in large amounts, can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure. For those already medicated for hypertension, this can trigger lightheadedness, fainting, and even falls, a serious risk for seniors with brittle bones or balance issues. To be clear, garlic isn't the enemy, it's how you use it. Cooked garlic still offers benefits, but with a gentler touch on your system. It's the raw, unmoderated consumption, especially when layered on top of prescriptions, that turns healing into harm. If garlic is part of your daily routine, talk to your doctor. Bring it up at your next checkup. They might adjust your dose, or suggest a safer way to enjoy its benefits, because natural doesn't always mean safe. And in the senior years, precision matters more than potency. So if even a healing root like garlic can backfire when misused, what about something even more delicate? Something praised for being light, fresh, and raw, yet secretly harboring invisible enemies your aging heart can no longer fight off? Let's move on to hash 3, a crunchy superfood that might be quietly brewing a bacterial storm in your bloodstream. Hash 3, raw sprouts, the innocent crunch that could break a senior's heart. They look fresh, vibrant, and full of life. Raw sprouts, whether alfalfa, mung bean, or broccoli, are often touted as superfoods, rich in enzymes and nutrients. For the health-conscious senior, tossing a handful onto a sandwich or salad feels like the perfect move. But behind their delicate green appearance lies an invisible threat that your body, after 60, may no longer be strong enough to handle. Here's the issue. Raw sprouts are grown in warm, moist environments, the ideal conditions for dangerous bacteria like E. coli, Salmonella, and Listeria to thrive. In younger adults, a contaminated sprout might cause an upset stomach. But in seniors whose immune systems have weakened, that same infection can spiral into something far more serious. I once treated a patient named Helen, 71, who believed she was doing everything right: organic groceries, home-cooked meals, lots of fresh greens. One day, she developed what seemed like a mild flu: chills, nausea, fatigue. Within 48 hours, she was hospitalized with sepsis triggered by a Listeria infection traced back to contaminated sprouts. The scariest part? You can't see or taste the danger. The sprouts look clean, they smell fine, but the bacteria live deep within the tiny stems, and washing them often doesn't help. Once ingested, these pathogens can trigger infections of the heart lining, disrupt heart rhythm, or even accelerate congestive heart failure in vulnerable individuals. If you love sprouts, cook them. A light sauté or steam can kill harmful bacteria without destroying flavor. Or choose safer greens, like steamed spinach, kale, or microgreens grown in sterile environments. Most importantly, don't gamble. After 60, the body no longer recovers like it once did. A seemingly small infection can quickly become a systemic threat, because when your heart is already working overtime, the last thing it needs is to fight a bacterial war. And if something as innocent as a sprout can harbor hidden enemies, what about a vegetable that's completely safe on its own, but becomes dangerous when paired with common heart medications? #2. Grapefruit, the sweet saboteur of your prescriptions. It's sweet, refreshing, and often recommended in heart-healthy diets. But if you're over 60 and on common medications, grapefruit might be quietly working against you. And you'd never know until it's too late. Grapefruit and its juice contain natural compounds called furanocoumarins, which interfere with an important enzyme in your gut, CYP3A4. Why does that matter? Because this enzyme is responsible for breaking down many medications in your body. When grapefruit blocks it, the drugs you take may stay in your system too long or absorb too quickly, leading to dangerous side effects. I remember Harold, a 69-year-old man on statins and blood pressure meds. He'd been eating half a grapefruit every morning for years. He thought he was being healthy. But then came the muscle cramps, fatigue, and irregular heartbeat. After a checkup, we discovered his statin levels were 3 times higher than normal. The grapefruit had turned his medicine into an overdose. This isn't an isolated case. Grapefruit can dangerously amplify medications like statins for cholesterol, calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, antiarrhythmics for heart rhythm, immunosuppressants, and even some anti-anxiety or sleep meds. The result? You could experience low blood pressure, liver damage, or even heart rhythm issues, all while thinking you're eating clean. So what should you do? Avoid grapefruit and grapefruit juice if you're on any heart-related medications, unless your doctor explicitly approves it. Always read labels and ask your pharmacist about food-drug interactions, even for something as natural as fruit. If you miss the citrus flavor, try safe alternatives like oranges or berries that don't interfere with medication metabolism, because after 60, it's not just about what you eat, it's how your body reacts to it now. That brings us to the final and most dangerous vegetable on the list, one that looks completely harmless, but could carry a bacterial threat you can't see, smell, or stop unless you cook it. #1. Raw mushrooms, the hidden infection risk. Lurking in healthy bites. They look earthy, natural, and harmless. Tossed into salads, sliced onto sandwiches, or dipped in hummus. Raw mushrooms are a go-to for health-conscious seniors. But behind their clean image lies an invisible danger that could quietly wreak havoc on your heart and immune system. Raw mushrooms, especially button, portobello, or cremini, can harbor bacteria, fungi spores, and environmental toxins that are generally neutralized by cooking. For a younger person with a robust immune system, this might not be an issue. But for someone over 60, especially with a history of heart conditions or weakened immunity, these microorganisms can trigger something much more serious: low-grade infections, inflammation, or even endocarditis, an infection of the heart lining. I'll never forget Eleanor, age 73. She switched to a raw, plant-based diet, thinking it would help her cholesterol. But within weeks, she began experiencing low-grade fevers, joint aches, and extreme fatigue. It turned out she had developed a rare bacterial infection, traced back to uncooked mushrooms in her daily salad. The problem? Most mushrooms are grown in moist, soil-rich environments, ideal for E. coli, listeria, and salmonella. While cooking easily kills these pathogens, eating them raw bypasses that safety net. Raw mushrooms also contain agartine, a naturally occurring compound that may interfere with liver function in large or repeated doses, another organ closely tied to cardiovascular health. So, what's the solution? Always cook your mushrooms, sauté, roast, or steam them. Heat transforms not only their flavor, but makes them safer to digest. Avoid pre-sliced raw mushroom packs, especially those sitting for days in the fridge. Bacterial colonies grow fast in cut surfaces and moisture. And if you're immunocompromised, on heart medication, or recovering from surgery, it's best to skip raw mushrooms altogether. It's a small shift, but a powerful one. Because after 60, protecting your heart isn't just about what to eat, it's also about how to prepare it. Final words, your heart still has time, and so do you. If you've made it this far, let me tell you something from the heart. You are already taking the first step to healing, by simply becoming aware. At over 60, life starts to speak to us in new ways. Your knees might ache, your energy may dip, your medications multiply. But here's what hasn't changed. The incredible ability your body has to adapt, repair, and protect when you begin listening to it. You've just uncovered 7 vegetables that, despite looking innocent, even healthy, could be silently working against your heart. Not because they're bad, but because your body is different now, your organs more vulnerable, and your immune defenses less forgiving. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the body asking for a little more care, a little more intention, and a lot more respect. But here's the hope. You don't need a complete diet overhaul or a complicated plan. You just need small, consistent adjustments, like cooking instead of eating raw, watching your sodium, pairing food wisely with medications, and being honest with your doctor about your habits. Because every single heartbeat from here forward, it's a chance to start again, a chance to eat with purpose, to protect the heart that has carried you for decades. You've come too far to be undone by a healthy habit done the wrong way. And you're not alone. This channel is here to support you. To educate, yes, but more than that, to empower. To show you that aging doesn't mean surrendering your health, but embracing a wiser way to care for it. If this video helped you, please tap that like button and let us know with a heart in the comments. Want more videos like this? Click subscribe and turn on notifications. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of the 7 surprised you most? Drop it in the comments. Your story might help someone else reading. This is your time, your body, your future. Let's protect it, one choice at a time. Thank you for watching. Stay well, stay wise, and we'll see you in the next video.